Hey guys, Aaron Wilson, outside Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, where the Texans have an AFC South showdown on Sunday against the division-leading Colts. And this is an intriguing matchup for a lot of reasons, including obviously the high stakes, the playoff implications, and the rivalry between these two clubs. The Texans and the Colts haven't liked each other for a very long time, and in the old days, across from Lucas, we see the Peyton Manning statue. This is the house that Peyton built. And for a long time, the Colts had the Texans' number. In recent years, it's really changed, including with Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud, who returns from a 3-game concussion. So you get C.J. back. He's 3-1 all time against the Colts. 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, has a good track record against this team. Of course, they've changed. They made some good changes with defense coordinator Lou Anarumo. They're getting a lot of pressure from Latu. They are missing DeForest Buckner. They have a good linebacker in Zaire Franklin. They have an excellent nickel in Kenny Moore. And they have long, athletic corners, expensive corners, especially Sauce Gardner. They traded with from the New York Jets and Charvarius Ward. So the Texans have to be sound on offense, and they got to take care of the football. We'll start with that as we go through some of the matchups for this game. So you look at Stroud, and obviously he's missed some time. He's had the advantage of, as he said, that bird's eye view and listening in as he goes through Nick Caley, his play calling regimen, and how does he develop the game plan, all those things. So CJ was a part of that and was able to learn from some of the things that were working with Davis Mills. It was really managing games, making some plays when he had to, and was kind of streaky. He would have his moments. He would also have some times where he would struggle with his accuracy and some cold streaks. What I saw from Davis, though, were some things, some sort of a blueprint for how the Texans can win games on offense. And you can tell from the mood of D'Amico Ryans, he's not happy with the offense. And why would he be? 34 yards in the second half against Buffalo. They need to finish games. They need to take care of the ball. But it's more than that. They've got to make some plays. They've got to be better on third down. They've got to be better in the red zone. And I was seeing some signs. It wasn't great, but I saw some progress with CJ and this offense against the Broncos. He was off to an okay start. Against the San Francisco 49ers. He was the AFC Player of the Week against the Baltimore Ravens, a depleted Ravens team, but nonetheless, he played well. So CJ has shown flashes, but he's got to be more consistent, and he's got to get the football to Nico Collins. He's got to get the football to Dalton Schultz. They need to continue to develop this outside running game with Woody Marks, who's coming off of a season-high 74 yards against the Bills. So nothing's consistent enough, nothing's good enough, but the Texans are still a work in progress, and they have earned the right to play these meaningful football games. They have a shot to win this game. Some things are kind of stacking up for them a little bit, including an illness for Tyler Warren, the Colts' outstanding rookie tight end, first-round draft pick from Penn State. So we'll see if he's able to go. They added him as questionable, meaning he has a 50-50 chance of playing. Going back to the Texans offense and Nick Caley, we'll see, does his play calling change a little bit to account for Stroud's arm talent? And remember it was a couple years ago, they won a game with Stroud going up top and them beating with Nico Collins, Juju Brents with the deep ball, 75-yard touchdown. We saw how dynamic the offense can be at times. That was the Bobby Slowick offense, but just the Stroud-Collins connection. They need to recapture that mojo. And as CJ said, he doesn't know when the mojo is going to come back. It's going to be first play. It's going to take some time. Hopefully it doesn't take more than the entire game, because they need him to be sharp, and they need him to, and I don't think he'll be worried about hits. I said that my Friday video. I don't think he's going to be gun shy. You would hope that he wouldn't be, and that he's cool, calm, composed, and playing with some confidence. The guy has some swag. It's not like he shouldn't. He's a very talented quarterback. So I look at CJ and I look at this offense, and I have an opportunity to disprove some of the things that people believe about them. That they will occasionally turn the ball over. That they will fail in the red zone, that they will get into these penalty-ridden first and second downs, and then these third and long situations that are hard to stop, hard to, convert. Sorry guys, I am a little cold. It is about 30 degrees. It's supposed to go down to about 25 degrees. It did snow earlier, and I was taping my spot for KPRC2 for Saturday night, and wanted to get a chance to talk to you guys a little more and preview this outstanding matchup. So for the Texans, in terms of the defense of the Colts and what they have to do, they have a, really, good safety in Nick Cross. They've got a active linebacker in Zaire Franklin. He's rangy. He's a good tackler. And of course they have, a pretty good front, but one that misses DeForest Buckner sorely. So it's a good team, not a great team when you think about what the Colts have. They have a good ranking. All of that stuff is true. And they're very highly ranked on the other side of the football. And that's kind of the meat of this matchup. That's the big one. When you look at, the Colts defense against Texans offense, that's interesting. But it's more about the Texans' top-ranked defense against a prolific Colts offense led by Shane Steichen. And he's been a really good architect of a sound, balanced scheme that has, had some success. What hasn't happened, when they've, had struggles, when they haven't won, it's because people shut down Jonathan Taylor, the great Jonathan Taylor, who's capable of breakaway runs, capable of making guys miss, running guys over, making them, breaking tackles. Just a very tough, talented running back that's one of the best in his position in the league. So the Texans' job one, and they've said this, is to corral him, gang tackle him, get to Jonathan Taylor. Don't let him get started. Don't miss tackles. Take good angles. They need to do all of those things. We're going to see. Daniel Jones does not look like he's moving very well with that broken fibula. I think it's more of a cracked fibula, not like he has a fully broken leg and that they're letting him play with that. No, they're not absolutely, they're not careless about Daniel Jones' health, Danny Dimes. So he can play, but he's going to be in the pocket. And he's going to take some hits. So we'll see. How does he absorb those hits? Is he able to stay in the game? Because Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter, that pass rushing tandem, they've combined for 21.5 sacks, the best bookend pass rushing tandem in the NFL, not arguably the best. These guys, they're going to get out there, they're going to get after it, they're going to close in, they're going to try to have a meeting at the quarterback. As some guys have said over the years, meet me there, beat me there. They can get to the quarterback. The Colts have Quentin Nelson, they have some good players, but it's not like they have, never allowed pressure. They have, given up some pressures for sure and some sacks. So for the Texans and their defense, the game plan, I talked the other day about the chess match between D'Amico Ryans and Shane Steichen, two coaches that have a lot of respect for each other. This is a cool matchup. You got Jonathan Taylor, you got Daniel Jones. They have a deep threat in Alec Pierce, who's struck deep against the Texans before. You have a, if Warren plays, if he's okay or if he's 100%, not 100%, we'll see. They have a weapon at tight end there, and he can block. He can do a lot of things. They have a sound overall wide receiver, kind of a possession type in Michael Pittman. He's big, strong, very good hands, makes a lot of plays. So they have that element, and they have an underneath slot guy in Josh Downs. So they have a lot of things that you would want to have for an offense. They have good offensive linemen. They're pretty sound. The Steichen scheme, it's good. A lot of things he will make look like one thing, but it's another. So he does a good job of disguise, deception, and so do the Texans. But the Texans are pretty basic. They just kind of line up, and they don't try to make it too complicated. And they get back Jalen Petrie. And that is a big edge, having Petrie back in the nickel, because there's things you can do with Petrie. And you're having Kalen Bullock coming off of a career game with 3 turnovers. Of course, Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter dominant this past game, and we saw pass rushing from Sheldon Rankins. We saw a blitz from Henry To'oTo'o. We saw Tim Settle Jr. get in the backfield for his first sack of the year. And Azeez Al-Shaair, he's been sound all year. These are the kind of matchups that Azeez Al-Shaair's got to thrive in. I think he can against Jonathan Taylor. You got to have some punishing hits, some big hits from your Mike linebacker and other guys like E.J. Speed. This is a game against his former team. Of course, he's going to want to show out. And he didn't leave on bad terms here. He was very highly respected, 142 tackles last year. They didn't agree on a price, and he left in free agency. The Colts don't spend a lot. They spend big on some guys, but not big on everybody. But yeah, EJ will be a factor in this game too. And Jalen Reed, plugging him in now as the new starting safety. And he's number 1 on the depth chart. He had 11 tackles in his debut. Wasn't the starter. He played most of the snaps. Miles Bryant probably will play a lot less now, more on special teams. They promoted Amir Speed, but that's for special teams. Punt and kickoff. 6'3", 215 pounds. Good special teamer. 9 career tackles, most on special teams. Played for the Colts previously, played for the Patriots, former Patriots draft pick from Michigan State, also played for the Georgia Bulldogs. So they get a sizable guy that can run and add him to this defense in a way, but mostly for special teams, to have him operate in the kicking game. And then Ajani Carter, the North Shore graduate, unfortunately, they needed the roster spot. He was going to make it back probably in a couple more weeks, maybe even one more week, even return to practice. But they opted to put him on injury reserve with a hamstring injury. And he is out for this game and out for the next 4 weeks at least. Jamal Hill is out for this game. Texans don't have any other real big injury concerns. Everybody's going to go. Dalton Schultz, Trent Brown, Blake Fisher. Everybody's going to play. So they get Dina Autry, of course C.J. Stroud, and Jalen Petrie are back. So the Texans are relatively healthy, and now they're going to play some football. And they're going to play inside. They won't be outside like I am right now. They're, of course, having the Indiana High School Football State Championships inside Lucas Oil Stadium. So good luck to all those people participating. And, of course, in Texas, that's going on. It's a great time for fall football, winter football, if you will. And this is a big-time game. I think the Texans can win this game. I think the pressure's on the Colts. For the Texans, they just have to keep things up. If anyone has a lot of pressure on them, probably it's C.J. Stroud and Nick Caley. And we've discussed that ad nauseum. And we know what they got to do. They got to take care of business. And this is a big game. That's why they're in these high-profile spots. And I think you see growth from both those guys and their collaboration. And that's going to be critical to this game. So we'll see how do all these matchups go. I'm not a fortune teller, but I think the Texans have some edges. I think they have some edges in a lot of spots. But they've got to block. They've got to do a good job. The offensive line's got to keep this up. No sacks, 4 hits last week with Davis Mills in the lineup. And C.J. Stroud, he's got to do his job. He's got to get the ball out. He's got to make quick decisions. And he's got to deliver the football. He can't be overthrowing guys like he did against Tampa Bay. But I think since then, he's improved. He's made some adjustments. And we see a difference in C.J. Stroud. And we'll see just how different is he against the Colts. Because Lou Anarumo is a good defensive coordinator. He's a smart coach, good strategist. And he will test C.J. Stroud. And they will break tendencies. They will do some things to make things challenging for a quarterback. And they have some smart players, especially Kenny Moore. Kenny Moore is really good at baiting quarterbacks and picking off passes. All right, guys, we'll have much more. Please watch, like, and subscribe. We did hit the 21,000 number today on my travels on my way to Indianapolis. Blackjack. And I love that. That's great. Good growth. Started this channel a year ago, and now we're at 21,000. Let's keep this thing going. Guys, it helps if you watch, like, subscribe. Hype. There's a hype button that helps too. And we're talking to some businesses, looking for sponsors. If you're a business owner and you would like to get involved, I'm not tough to find. Rather, my DMs are open. So yeah, any legitimate business inquiries, hit me up. We can talk about maybe ways to get you involved with the channel. And of course, we'll have more coverage at KPRC2 and www.click2houston.com. Keep it locked all weekend long with us, with me, and here on YouTube and on Twitter and X, @AaronWilson_NFL, Instagram, AaronWilson7128. And guys, have a good night, stay warm, and enjoy the football game. Thanks.